Does the NBA really need Flau'jae Johnson? And I was listening to her mom, and this was not a good look. This is what my thumbnail say. This was not a good look. This was not a good look for several reasons, in my opinion. Um, and I was trying to decide, was I gonna make the title and saying, "Yo, Flau'jae's mom gonna get her Bronny." Well, Bronny probably a bad example because he's just not a good basketball player. But she's gonna get her Shadured. She's gonna get her Lonzo'd. And what I mean by that is when you talk a certain way and you talk with a we bigger than the program and you ain't never seen nothing like us, not only do the people that you want that bag from, but your teammates and the players don't like you too much, right? Because she's painting a huge target on Flau'jae's back. And my personal assessment of Flau'jae, she's a great basketball player. She's a good basketball player. Great is a stretch. But for me, Flau'jae is streaky. Flau'jae is streaky. You're not allowed to critique her. Like Angel Reese's mental toughness, in my opinion, runs laps around Flau'jae because we don't understand. We don't even know how Flau'jae would handle heavy criticism. Think about this, what I'm saying before I play the audio of her mother. The world, not just the city, the world just tries to destroy Angel Reese, much like Clarissa Shields. And she goes out and she performs. The world talks about all she do. This is how I know people don't watch basketball. They say all she do, she get all her points off her misses. Ridiculous talking point, right? But regardless to what you think of Angel Reese, she's extremely mentally tough. She's extremely mentally strong. And we have to also remember that these are young adults. Some would call them kids. They're young enough to be my daughters in this case. So we still have to look at them with a youthful eye. But when it comes to these parents, these momagers, these people like that, you have to be careful how you speak. Like the reason I say Shador because the mock draft had Shador a first round draft pick. Again, in my opinion, when Deion Sanders goes on Tamron Hall and he gets to talking that I'm the grand poobah, oh I'm daddy. It don't matter what they want. It's what I say. I'm paraphrasing, right? Whenever you come with this, I got the product. You know what I'm saying? It's what I say. You have to understand, and a lot of my people said, well, Archie Manning did it. Archie Manning. Well, the white boy do it. And the thing I want my people to understand at all times, it's their system. It's their system. So this is off subject, but this is an example. When we're talking about those Epstein files and we're saying, oh, they had more smoke for Michael Vick than they had for this situation. It's their system. Those are their buddies in that system. Those are their friends. That's them. They're not going to. We have to stop looking for them to give themselves the same treatment as they would give you, right? So back to the sports thing. And when I heard her make these statements, I was like, and in my opinion, she makes Flau'jae look weak. Here's why. And I'm gonna play without further ado. I'm gonna play what she said.
Cool. But what is going? We have never beat South Carolina. Cool. But what is going on today? Flau'jae is beating South Carolina in real life.
And see, when you start off like this, you're not talking about sports. You're making this situation personal. When you start off saying stuff like this, you're making the situation personal.
Okay? And no disrespect to them girls, no disrespect to Dawn. We beating them in real life. The whole goal is to go to the WNBA and get you a bag, right? Get you a bag and provide for your family, right? Flau'jae has already done that. She's already done it.
And again, we understand that this is their rival. South Carolina Gamecocks, Lady Gamecocks, these are their rivals, right? But the part that was troubling with me of what does this have to do with anything? And see, that is how they critique Flau'jae Johnson or not allow you to critique her. Much like the same thing with LeBron James. Whenever you're talking about something that they did or didn't do on the court, it goes to something in their personal life. With LeBron, oh man, he's a good father. He looked out for his homeboys. Okay, cool. What does her already get in the bag? Juju Watkins got the bag. Hannah Hidalgo got the bag. Raven Johnson got the bag. And in my opinion, Raven Johnson is a first rounder. Right? In my opinion, when I'm saying my opinion, in my opinion, Raven Johnson is who they want Flau'jae to be. And let me explain when I'm saying this. In my opinion, Raven Johnson is the ultimate floor general. She's a great defender. Flau'jae is a streaky defender. Right? So when you're saying these things, again, you're taking it off of the game and talking about something that it doesn't have to be talked about.
Flau'jae don't even have to go to the league. She is set for life. Her mama set her up for life. But let's go back. We talk about basketball. Even in basketball, she is beating them on the floor. Y'all could go look at the stats. She beat every player on the floor that game. Let's keep it real.
And she honestly had 2 more points than Raven Johnson. See, again, back to why I think Raven Johnson is a first rounder, is because when it was on the biggest stage, when it was a rival game, when you had to have certain things from your guard, Raven Johnson provided it. She provided great defense. She rebounded. She played great offense. She facilitated the basketball. She did everything you would want her to do, right? But again, she said this is about basketball.
No South Carolina player is going before Flau'jae in the draft. What South Carolina player this year is a lottery pick? No disrespect. I'm just being real. Yes.
And the funny part about her, and the funny part about her continuously saying no disrespect is she's continuing to lead it up with disrespect.
Really season their body so before Flau'jae in the draft. What South Carolina player this year is a lottery pick? No disrespect. I'm just being real. Yes. We are not being.
And here's one of the things. Does being a lotto pick matter? Yes, some would say yes. But then again, it's also what type of player are you and how you maximize that situation and how you maximize that spot of which you got drafted in. Because somebody could be a late first rounder or a second rounder and come in and run circles around the first overall pick. Angel Reese went number 7. Right? So it matters, but to a certain degree, it doesn't matter. Right? But she said she's talking about the game. This was a bad look.
They play together. They are. No South Carolina player is going before Florida in the draft. What South Carolina player this year is a lottery pick. No disrespect. I'm just being real. Yes, we have not been in South Carolina yet. They play together. They are really seasoned. They have bought in to what Darn's system or whatever else is. And guess what? Congratulations to them. But what I set up for my daughter is to win in real life. My daughter.
And when you continuously saying win in real life, when what you're doing on the court is going to dictate what you go on to do in real life. Your daughter is not the only one that's receiving NIL deals. See, the thing I don't like about this, and the reason I said this is a bad look for Kim Mulkey. This is a bad look for Flau'jae. March Madness is right around the corner now. Whether they will meet South Carolina, who knows? But you make the game harder for her. Flau'jae has to go out there on that court and perform while you sit here and talk. And a lot of times, if you're going to look like a problematic parent, i.e. LeVar Ball, well, I have respect for LeVar, how he put his sons in the game. How, i.e. Deion Sanders, when you look like that problematic parent, they're not gonna. If you look like they're gonna inherit problems, they're not gonna want to. They're not gonna want to deal with you, in my opinion. Right? A lot of this just shouldn't been said because this reminds me of like when I used to be playing 2K back in the day, and I'm whooping on somebody, and he jump up and say, one thing about it, I ain't messed up in real life. One thing about it, I'm going to get me some paper. What they got to do with this? Now that's your ego talking. Now we're not even talking about nothing. Now you're getting personal. And the more they're trying to convince you that they're not bothered or they're not taking it personal, it's getting more bothered and personal.
Is beating them in real life. She's going top 5 in the draft. Flau'jae was the best player on the court on the 14th.
Subjective.
Yes, she missed 2 free throws. Critical free throws. But guess what?
And how do you think that would be looked at by scouts? So let's say she goes on again in a championship situation or Elite Eight situation, and that same thing happens. Now the question is, can she close or is she mentally clutch?
But guess what else? She carried that game.
This is what I really felt like shouldn't have been said. See, when she was just speaking about how South Carolina, Dawn Staley, how they play as a team, when you go to making statements like this, now you shading your own teammates. You saying she carried. Well, what about the nights when the team carry your daughter? You see what I'm saying? Raven Johnson showed up, but that doesn't mean she's independent of South Carolina's success. So when you make statements like this surrounding this whole conversation, it's not saying that you can't sometimes say, yo, Flau'jae carried us tonight. It's in the tone of how you saying things. But you're setting her up and saying she's David Ruffin, and these are the temptations. This is not a good look.
She carried that game. She did what she was supposed to do in that moment. And she solidified herself in that game. South Carolina is a good team, but they did not blow us out. Shout out to Dawn, too. Dawn kept it 100% real. Flau'jae don't miss free throws, is what she said. We got lucky. And yes, we still lost. But are we losing in real life? She not losing in real life. I'm going to say it for one more time for the people who just coming in. Flau'jae beat every player on that court that night. Go check the stats. Go to ESPN. Numbers don't lie. And no South Carolina player is going before her in the draft. So who winning? And she loaded. These girls trying to go to the WNBA to get paid. She already paid. Flau'jae don't need the WNBA. To be real, they need her. We have never beat South Carolina.
And that was the one I felt like you definitely got to be careful. Because how it comes across is that, man, we doing this. We don't even care about the game. And that's not Flau'jae speaking. We don't need, or is it? We don't even really care about the game. We already got our money because it's about getting the bag. And this is why the NBA looks the way it looks. Because you have players like James Harden that just care about the bag. This is why they're constantly complaining about how sucky the NBA All-Star game is and how they have to pay players to give them incentives for them to compete. Because everything is about the bag. Everything is about the bag. This was completely distasteful. This should not have been spoken. And the reason I say it's a bad look on Flau'jae, in my opinion, because it makes Flau'jae look, number one, it makes her look weak. It makes her look like she has no influence or control with her team around her. This seems like either this could be, in my opinion, this could be perceived in two ways. That Flau'jae signed off on her saying this, or that this is just totally independent and she don't even respect Flau'jae's voice to jump out here and say something like this. That's why it's a mock draft. Raven Johnson, she could perform extremely well going forward and be predicted number 4. See, you got to be a parent, and then you got to let your son or daughter be them. And then also, I remember back when it always some mess when it's surrounding South Carolina, because I can remember when they were playing South Carolina, and this was when Angel and Camila Cardoso were still on the team, and things got testy, and Flau'jae, one of South Carolina players was kind of taunting Flau'jae, and Flau'jae gives her a little, push, and it gets crazy, and out of nowhere, Camila Cardoso comes and shoves Flau'jae to the ground, and Flau'jae's brother jumps over the thing and gets in girl's business. So, as a brother, I can understand him. Yo, man, I'm taking up for my sister, but you gotta know the situation. These are, number one. These are ladies playing, man. They ain't out there with the blicky like Mo Talk and above the rim. That's a situation to protect your sister. But you don't want to mess around with saying crazy things like this and mess your daughter's stock up and put a hole in the bag. So if she's set for life, congratulations to that young lady. I think Flau'jae is an amazing young lady. I think she's just like every other youth. She has to mature and develop. See, the thing, especially with my critiques, it's never personal. If I'm talking about Shador, it's never personal. What I might feel for the father, it's not going to trickle down on how I talk about that young man or a young lady. But I think you saying you beating them in real life, are you beating Don Staley in real life? See, you leave it open for speculation when you make statements like that. And you say, go check the stats. Stats is okay, cool. I think, and if I'm wrong, speaking of stats, I don't have them in front of me. But if my memory served me off top, Flau'jae had 21 points. I think she had 21 points, 8 rebounds, 1 assist. Now, if I'm wrong, correct me in my stats. In my comments. Right? But and I love basketball. Basketball is one of my favorite games. But I would rather have somebody that is an impact player to me. And the reason I keep saying Raven Johnson is because I'm looking at the guard situation. To me, I would rather have a seasoned floor general like Raven. But if she's not careful, she's gonna get Flau'jae Shedeur. Be careful with this. It's a rival game, but you don't want to just diss other young ladies because these could potentially be her teammates in the future. But she's speaking out of emotion. She's getting caught up in something that it involves her, but it doesn't past a certain point. Her daughter is going to be on that court and not her. And that's what they have to remember. See, it's like when LeBron was saying, um, oh, my son is better than a lot of. I'm sitting here watching, and I'm paraphrasing. I'm sitting here watching League Pass. My son is better than a lot of these people. Shit is light work. And you paint that target, and then when people critique your son based off of what you say, then you get mad and you want to run up on Stephen A. Smith and say, "That's my son. Stop talking about my son." Your son is a professional. She's collegiate, but she's professional. She's going toward the pros. But I just found this foolish. Let me know what you think in the comments. Peace.